Thank you, Raja. Well, besides Australia and India's love of cricket, Bollywood movies, we all love, it seems that India's biggest export, cultural export, is yoga. So I just want to do a little test in this room. Who does practice yoga? Yes, a couple. Well, you better get in on the trend because it's really taking over. Yoga is so good for de-stressing with all your business brains on. Get into the yoga trend. Let me introduce our next speaker. Tulsi Tanti is the founder, chairman and managing director of Suzlon Group, an Indian MNC and a prominent player in the global renewable energy sector. A visionary and world-renowned expert on clean energy, he champions the cause of affordable and sustainable energy. Tulsi Tanti leads the strategic growth initiatives of the businesses of Suzlon Group, which provide a full spectrum of green power solutions. The group has a market capitalization of over $1.5 billion and an international presence across 19 countries and 6 continents. Deeply concerned about the environment, he's been globally recognized for his achievements and conferred with numerous awards, including Champion of the Earth by the United Nations Environment Programme in 2009, Hero of the Environment by Time magazine, and his contribution to raising awareness and initiating action on global climate change, Global New Energy Business Leader Award by China Energy News, to name a few. Considered the captain of the Indian and global renewable energy industry, Tulsi Tanti is also on the panel of various forums throughout the world. Would you please welcome our next speaker, Tulsi Tanti.
So very good evening, friends. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to address you, all of you. I'm really happy by inviting by AIDC to address the August gathering. I would like to congratulate, first of all, AIDC celebrating 30 years. I think it's a great journey, and really it's a great value to both the nations to strengthen the economy and relationship and cultures. So, the Premier Honorable Mike Baird, Ms. Siba National Chair AIBC, Raja President's AIBC NSW chapter, ladies and gentlemen. So today I would like to share, because I am representing more the renewable energy space, which is the hot industries across the world. And there is a new phase of the energy sectors is moving and transforming across the world. And the new change is coming and transforming the life of the society. And I think it is the next phase of the civilization's change, how and what way we can build our future for the generations to come. So we understand, you know this picture very well. The global warming and climate change is really key concerns for all of us. The day by day, the way economic grows and we are consuming more and more resources, and the same time our carbon footprint is increasing and global temperature is increasing. Almost we have touched 1.3 degree. But if we go and touch continuously more than 2 degree, it's a big disaster for our next generations. So we should not build the world such a way so that we cannot give the better life to our next generation. And that is the high opportunity, one side of the business side. But same time, we have to mitigate the risk which is lying for the societies. The best part is there, 195 nations has agreed in the last Paris event in a COP21, which is a great milestone for the society, where every country has agreed, yes, we strongly believe the global warming and climate change is affecting our economy, it's affecting our life, and it will create a more and more disasters. If we see the 1950 to till now, the day by day and year by years, the number of disasters for the society is increasing, and we are losing enormous life across the world. The earlier days, every month normally one disaster event was there. Today you will be surprised, every month almost the 20 disaster happening across the world. So it's not the small event situation is there. Also we have a big concern that today 6.2 billion populations in the world is there. Going forward by 2050, we are reaching and touching almost 9 billion, and that will may become the plateau for the growth of the generations. And also the per capita consumptions, the country like India and China is extremely low compared to the developed economy. If they continues to grow and it continuously reach at the global economic consumptions, I think we need a three planet to supply the resources. So it's not sustainable way. It's a serious concern about that. The best part is there all the countries has agreed and initiative has taken, like India has already announced after the our Narendra Bhai's announcement for the renewable space, 175 gigawatts, the new capacity will be added in the renewable space. We are at 35 gigawatts, and within the next 5 years, almost $200 billion investment will flow in India for the renewable space. I see that this is a great opportunity for Australia to invest in space. It is a more safe, secured, annuity type income business in the real assets, not in a speculative or other things. And going forward, the financial cost is increasing, so it's a great value for the investment, and also increasing the value of the rupee will give the benefit. The same way, Australia has also announced by 28% the reduction in a carbon footprint, and nearly 33,000 kilowatt hours should be added in the grid infrastructure for the renewable space. The US has come out forward the first time in the history in the last 20 years, the 5 years long-term policy for the renewable development. China is moving very aggressively in this direction. So the reality is there, momentum has started very well. So there is a good futures for the society is improving. If we really understand the next 20 years, in the energy sectors globally, nearly $10 trillion investment is required for the new capacity, and also some of the capacity should be removed and replaced. But the majority investment is coming almost 60% from the renewable space. So that is the very clear forecast for the next 20 years is there, which also Australia and India should leverage this sector to cap there, not for the Australia and India, but we can collectively make the good impact for the other market also to leverage this opportunity. And out of that, nearly $6 trillion investment in the next 20 years is in a renewable space is increasing. If we take a 2015 the numbers, the how much investment has flow in the renewable space, the nearly 330 billion investment has happened in only 1 year in 2015, which is nearly 60% of the total new investment in the power sector has happened. So it's the reality is working, and we are confident this $6 trillion investment will flow in the renewable space going forward. If we see the Australia perspectives, this is the chart for the Australia. What is the current scenario is there? Is the less contribution is renewable space is there. But going forward by 2030, almost it will reach to 40% renewable will added in the portfolio of the energy basket of the countries. And same time it will reduce almost 30% carbon footprints. So very clearly the government has taken a good initiative and steps on a direction settings and everything. But today it's a very high time for us we have to act on this. We have to execute those projects, and we have to build this capacity, and we have to work on that. Because when I see the Australia perspective, I think the most important part is they're more than 50 or 60 years old coal-based plant. I think we have to not to continue to operate because it's not economically sustainable, and same time it's creating the enormous the carbon footprint. It should be replaced by the renewables capacity, but same time it's a concern to what to do this call. We have to understand India 400 million population doesn't have access of energy. So we have to build the certain base load, and top of the base load we have to build the renewable capacity. So whatever the coal production is possible from the Australia, it will be consumed in that market. But it's not the same way today we are consuming. It should be in a clean coal technology will be used, and it will be utilized, because renewable cannot be standalone moving, but it's required a base load. So this way, it's the best combinations for both the nations to leverage that and to reduce the carbon footprint on both sides of the world. Just to give an introduction about the Suzlon, we are the first generation organizations. And my father was the farmer, and we have started this business in 1995. And today we are operating the business in almost more than 19 country today, but earlier 32 country, because we have disinvestment one company, and nearly 25,000 megawatt in the last 20 years. We have built the capacity across the world, and that is the driven through the technology. I will tell you the technology is the biggest the driver in these sectors to bring down levelized cost of energy continuously down, and it's to make a more affordable, sustainable energy for all. And that's the directions we are working. It's a very clear missions for our group is there. The social economy, ecological, sustainable development to give a better life to our next generation. And that's the missions we are working in to create a more and more renewables capacity and reduce the carbon footprint to give a better life to our generations. So the technology is the innovations. We are continuously investing. And the last 5 years, we have reduced the levelized cost of energy nearly 20%. Means if I say in the rupee terms, it has go down from 6 rupees to 5 rupees level. And if I say in the dollar terms in the US market, earlier we are selling 5 years before energy, it is approximately 3.5 to $4. And today wind energy we are selling in US market is $2.5. So that is a very, very lucrative, low pricing, irrespective is the lowest gas price in the world is the US market is there. And now this energy is competing the gas price also. So that level of the competency we have bring. Now what should be the next for the 5 years? We are working the very strong innovations and the technology initiatives by leveraging from the Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, Austria, India and China. These are our R&D and technology hubs. So what we are focusing in the next 5 years to reduce the 20% levelized cost of energy. Means 5 rupees cost of rupee today in rupee terms will go down to 4 rupees in the 5 years. So that it become a more and affordable energy to the consumers, and it will increase the demand of the energy by lower cost, and manufacturing base can grow and sustainable development, same time without harming the environment situation. Because we have grown from 1950 when industrialization happens in a completely different directions, but it's now high times to take a U-turn and make sure we bring a good environment, but same time sustainable business model, and also create economic value and social satisfaction to the societies. So the technology is the key driver is there. Now when we are talking about technology, what we have changed is their earlier product and technology was 25% capacity factors. We have bring to the 35%, and next generation of turbine which we are bringing in the next 1 or 2 years, it will go to the 50% level. And top of that, we are adding a wind and solar hybrid solution, means common grid infrastructure to both the energy source should be added, and with the small storage capacity, which will take it to the level of the capacity factor up to 65%, which is more or close to the coal-based power plant, which is running 65 to 70%. So gradually within a 4 to 5 years, we will deliver the utility scale projects as a base load. Otherwise today always the belief is there and perception is there in the market, renewable is very expensive, and renewables are not available as and when we required, or it's available when there is no consumption. That's now not the case through the technology. And same time, it is the most affordable $2.5 in a US market, because the energy production is very high, the windy sites are good, low cost of the financials, it will add lot of value in going forward. So what we are doing in Australia in 2004, we have started our first footprint to building the projects. Nearly $1.5 billion asset we have built in Australia in the last 10 years. Our customers are AGL. They have invested in the projects. The Trust Power, Pacific Hydro, and Ingefin. So these are the groups has invested. In last 3-4 years, somehow the Australia has lost the momentum for investment in a renewable space. So now again we are looking. There is a high time and opportunity to satisfy the obligation and target which is set in the Paris, and where Australia is also part of that party. It's a very high time for Australia to reinvest and restart in the investing in the renewable space. And we believe there is a huge pipelines of the projects are in the market is waiting for the execution of the project. With the administrative supports and the policy frameworks, I see the good momentum will start in the next the 5 years. Now coming to the India and Australia trade relations, I think India is a very large economy and the enormous opportunity and potentiality is lying for Australia business. But if I see the current number is a $15 billion is the just trade is there. The Australia is importing from India is a 5 billion and India is importing from Australia is a 10 billion. It's really very low is there. We would like to use the platform of AIBC and to leverage that, and we can work in a different way to utilize the opportunity and potentiality which is unlocking in India. And India will continue for next 2 decades. Very good GDP growth in a continuous momentum and enormous resource requirement is there. So this trade, how we can take it to the 15 billion to $50 billion within a 5 years. And that area we have to collectively work. And I'm confident it is a possible, is the opportunity. The Australia's point of view, I think education systems area is a good opportunity. The agriculture product and food processing industries can be leveraged for the export of the material. No doubt the core minerals and resource and coal, everything will continue to increase because demand is increasing in India side. But also there is a good opportunity, the technology which is lying in India, we are using in a very large scale basis. Every year we are building more than 2 gigawatt capacity in India, and we are the lowest cost producers in the renewable space. So it's an opportunity to exports from India to Australian market to really bring the Australia is the greenest country. Because I see the Australia is the best living place in the world, but why not Australia should be the greenest country in the world? And that I would like to see in the next 5 years. Premium, in your leadership, we would like to see to make that happen. It's not too far we can able to achieve, and we are fully committed to deliver this performance. Now coming to the investment also, it's a huge, less investment is there. It's not more than 10 or 11 billion investment between 2 countries are there. Why not that also has to go to the 20 billion to 50 billion investment between both the countries? There is a good opportunity is there. Just simple, I will tell you, in the next 5 years, India is investing $200 billion in renewable assets in the country, which is a very good investment opportunity. And most of the US, UK, and Hong Kong is investing in India. 90% investment is coming from outside India. The huge demand is there, but I don't see any investment from Australia to India. And it is a really good, safe, secured, and annuity income business because you are investing in the real assets, and same time you are contributing and reducing carbon footprint. It's not necessary just to invest here, but you can invest any part of the world. The also Indian high net worth people, we are planning to bringing to invest in renewable assets in India, and that's our plan to create a good value from both the nations. And when I see our current, the governments are very, very positive relationships between Australia, and we should leverage that to enhance our trade in state. Very soon is the Vibrant Gujarat event is happening in Gujarat. I would like to invite you, all of you, to join and to understand. And Gujarat will be the gateway to enter in Indian market. To start with that, because India is a very complex and lot of uncertainty of the business environment is there. But once you understand, it's an opportunity. It's not a problem. So summarizing on that, it's very clear. We are working to bring lower cost of energy and affordable energy and energy for all. Because in India, we don't have a 400 million population, excess of energy, but job is to provide like that. And also, we are very seriously looking the investment opportunity to attract in Australia in the next 5 years to build a 2 gigawatt capacity. We have almost 800 megawatt capacity we have built, but 2 gigawatt capacity will attract approximately 4 billion investment in the next 5 years. So that's we are looking, and we are fully committed to achieve the commitment which is Australia has given in Paris, so that we can support their economic growth and development. So thank you very much. Thanks for me, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Tulsi Tanti. We're going to have a little break now while dinner is served. So I just wanted to remind you of all those great prizes that are on offer. We have silent auction items at the side of the room that you can go and put a bid on, a gift hamper from ABS Group, lunch and dinner harbour cruises, an artwork from Nanda Hobbs, also some lucky door prizes. They are Verve portraits from Australia's largest portrait photography company with studios in Richmond, Surrey Hills, Claremont, Rushcutters Bay, Willoughby and Fortitude Valley. The Verve experience is the perfect way to celebrate and appreciate the beautiful moments of your life. Verve portraits pride themselves on delivering perfection from start to finish. As a result, they produce truly stunning images that capture the real you. So we've got one prize worth $600, an Verve Experience gift package, a $1,200 Verve Experience gift package as well. Raffle tickets, don't forget to look at the flyers on your table so that you can fill those in, and AIBC is proud to have the Commonwealth Bank Platinum sponsor donate this fabulous bat, beautifully presented, from Mitchell Johnson. It's autographed. It's who dominated the Commonwealth Bank Ashes in the series of 2012 to 14. It's personally signed by the player of the series and 2014 Allan Border medalist Mitchell Johnson. This framed mini bat is limited to only 1,500 editions worldwide to ensure its rarity. It's officially licensed by Cricket Australia, and it comes with its own certificate of authenticity, which you need to retain as validation of your officially licensed product. So enjoy your dinner and make sure you fill out those flyers. Take your seats, and then we can warmly welcome the chairwoman from AIBC. Let me tell you about Sheba Nandkilo-Liar. I think I've said that right. Sheba has been the forefront in organising trade missions to and from India and other Asian countries. Sheba has actively contributed to FTA and CACA inputs and has been advising prime ministers, premiers, ministers and government officials on trade and business matters pertaining to India. Sheba co-founded one of Australia's leading communication and marketing companies, Multi Connections. As CEO of Multi Connections, Sheba advises clients on marketing to new and multicultural audiences who are also global citizens. Sheba was awarded the IAA Inspire Champion Award, an international lifetime achievement award for excellence in global communications by the International Advertising Association in May 2015 in London, the only awardee from Australia. Sheba has been regularly awarded with industry recognition and awards in Australia, India and internationally, including the GOPIO Businesswoman of the Year in 2013, the UIA Excellence in Business Role Model for South Asian Community. Shiba Nandkiola has been a long-standing AIBC member for 15 or over 15 years. As former state president of the AIBC New South Wales and now the AIBC National Chair, Shiba actively contributes to facilitating trade and business links between Australia and India through her various industry and board positions, including board member of the Australia-India Council, among others. Would you please welcome to the stage Shiba Nandkiola.
Thank you. Alex, thank you so much for the introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome everyone. Thank you to our Honorable Premier Mike Baird for your presence this evening, which very much underlines the importance that the New South Wales government attaches to the bilateral trade relationship with India. May I request all of you to put your hands together for his presence. I would also like to extend my welcome to Mr. Tulsi Tanti, Chairman and MD of Suzlon Energy Limited. We were actually counting the days, sir, till you arrived, because all of us were really eagerly waiting to hear you. And I was scribbling a lot of facts and figures which you presented and would love to have a copy of your presentation. I think AIBC would love to collaborate with you to see how we can further the investment between these two countries. So thank you very much for being here today with us. Your presence, Mr. Tanti, highlights the importance of the renewable energy sector. It's an extremely important sector in a global context today, both for India and for Australia. The future depends really on the present, and frankly, the actions that we take today. And while you were speaking, and I was just thinking to myself, we need to take the action today. There's no tomorrow. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. So thank you very much for all your messages. I will not take up too much of time by repeating a long list of distinguished guests who are all here today, because they've been amply acknowledged by Raja and Samir and our lovely Alex. But I would like to just add to those acknowledgements by warmly welcoming all our distinguished guests. Where I'm concerned, as the National Chair of AIBC, I believe every single person in this room is really important for us. Every one of you are key stakeholders for us, and thank you very much for being with us here today. Since I've taken over the national chairmanship of AIBC, I have often been asked questions. Often been asked questions when people meet me, and often emails. I receive about 4 to 5 emails sometimes in a day. Katrina is there who assists me, and she sometimes shakes her head and she says, today it's 15. So it can be anywhere from 4 to 15. So what we did, Katrina and myself, we sat down, went through all the questions. So my speech is going to be answering 3 questions I've selected, which people often ask me since I've taken over as the national chair of AIBC. Okay, so there are 3 questions. The first question often asked is, what is AIBC going to do differently? We will continue to build on a wonderful legacy that our previous national teams have built, and will continue to work very inclusively with all our stakeholders. But I guess a slight difference would be, or we'll step up this particular aspect of our initiative, becoming a more active voice with the partnerships with Government of India, Government of Australia, all the state governments, DFAT, Austrade, and other chambers of commerce. And this active voice will be at the planning and policy level. So yes, we'll continue to run a lot of delegations, do a lot of initiatives, events, everything, but we will also like to influence and have inputs into decisions going forward in terms of the bilateral trade relationship, things that you have just highlighted, Mr. Tanti, in your speech. The second question I've frequently been asked, can we have an update on the Australia-India trade relationship with regards to SICA? And if some of you have already seen, there was an article which was already there in Economic Times and Business Standard yesterday, which was exactly this, and Rekha, I think, is here, who wrote the article for INS. And that's a question that everybody asks. So, things are not really going that well, is it? What's happened to your Sika? And this is where, ladies and gentlemen, I actually want to say that our bilateral trade relationship has grown stronger and stronger by the day, irrespective of any delays that there may be for the FTA or Sika discussions. The number of bilateral trade delegations and ministerial delegations have only increased in the recent past. But more importantly, I was actually just observing the profile. The scale and the quality of these delegations are absolutely top level. There are ministerial delegations coming and going from both countries. And this is a testimony to the fact that our relationship is getting stronger, not weaker. Trade figures have definitely shown a positive swing in 2015. Yes, we know we need to track it up much faster, much quicker, and with more strategic initiatives, but there has been a positive swing. The relationship has come to a stage when I guess Australia is much more ready to engage with India, as also India is very ready to engage with India. Just a testimony to the fact that you accepted to address, and I can tell you, he accepted it. We approached him very late in New South Wales, and he still took it up. And that is a testimony that India is interested in Australia. Both governments are absolutely committed. About three months ago, I had the privilege of speaking to the Prime Minister at one of the cricket matches, and I asked him outright the question, Prime Minister Turnbull, people say perhaps we are going slow with our Sika discussions. And the first thing he said, Shiba, who told you that? The fact of the matter is, we are totally committed, like never before, and India and Australia will go to further heights. There are obviously little issues in terms of tariffs and so on and so forth, which needs to be ironed out, and discussions are happening. And we're not worried. It might take a few more months, but we know we've got a job cut out to do, and we'll continue to do that. The third question that often I am asked is, what is AIBC going to do to fast track this bilateral relationship? Well, for one, we plan to encourage more engagement of Australian businesses. How do we do that? We want to address misperceptions about the complexities of doing business in India. If you can do business in China with all the language difficulties, surely it must be so much easier to do business in India. So we really want to address those misperceptions and complexities and highlight some outstanding business opportunities, one of which you've already highlighted, $200 billion up for investment on renewable sector. Where are those investments going to be coming from? So what we want to do is really prepare and provide an ongoing specific business and trade opportunities paper that will be constantly released to all our stakeholders in terms of specific opportunities that Australian businesses have, as also Indian businesses have, much in terms of the discussions we had in Melbourne the other day, Mr. Tanti. We also have plans to take a delegation to Vibrant Gujarat Conference, and we'll also have a couple of B2B meetings around the conference. Now, as we know, that AIBC has been a past partner, and to that extent, I have to give full acknowledgement and appreciation for our immediate past chair, Mr. Dipin Rugani, and I'd really like you to put your hands together for that, because he truly is the person who got this partnership in place. And I, for one, cannot forget that. And we want to build on it. So going forward, please look out for more information. You will shortly have invitation for your expressions of interest. And we'll work very closely with all the state governments and the Australia, DFAT, and others to put this delegation together. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something else I want to also share. What else is AIBC doing to fast track this relationship? We are currently working on a program which we'll be announcing very shortly, which is facilitating an internship program for Indian international students with our AIBC University and corporate members. Yep, I would like everybody to really appreciate the fact that those international students come to Australia, spend thousands and thousands of dollars, go back to India without even a single day's internship or work experience in an Australian business environment. So we would like to facilitate that. And I'm very pleased to, the very first corporate member I spoke, they immediately said, we can give up to, they're here, we can give up to 6, 8, how many internships do you want? This is the kind of response we've already started getting. So look out for that announcement. Another initiative that we are going to be launching very shortly is a corporate advisory council, which again, Dipin and myself, as our previous national team, had really worked on, along with our board of directors. Deepak is here from ACT, Raja. All of us were very much privy to what we decided was AIBC wanted to work with corporate business leaders to really get their guidance to see how can we pull big dollars across each other countries. So this is what is going to happen. And these corporate leaders are going to be invited from India as well as Australia to be on this council. Some of the other initiatives which have already commenced is the launch of a series of business seminars. And this is, as everybody knows and have read about GST, which is a landmark thing which has happened in India. And it's going to have huge international ramifications. And thanks to our knowledge partner, PwC, the High Commission of India, the Council Generals, we have been able to roll out these seminars. We've completed 2 seminars in Sydney and Melbourne. There's going to be another one in Brisbane towards the later part of the month, and some more across all other cities in October. I have Dennis McCarthy here, the principal from PwC. Thank you, Dennis, for spending the time and really taking them through the international implications. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to thank our national partner, CBA. CBA have been an absolute invaluable AIBC partner for the past 2 years, and now we move on to our 3rd year together. And there is no better way that CBA shows its commitment to the Indian diaspora and to the Indian corridor by partnering with AIBC. The Indian diaspora is one of the largest diasporas today. Yes, and I would really like everybody to put their hands together. And that's not enough. You have to fill up. There's a form out there, right? If you truly believe and you want to appreciate CBA today, please fill out that form and leave it behind, because you will, before you leave, probably get a really good prize, one lucky you. Moving on, I would also like to acknowledge the ongoing support over the years. Fortunately for me, I have been on the board for 4 years now. And I have got Kylie there from EY, and we've got, besides EY, KPMG. They have been an ongoing support for us, running so many national initiatives year on year, and I would really like to thank them for this. Please put your hands together. It has been my privilege, personally my privilege, working very closely with the New South Wales government since I came onto the AIBC board, initially with former Honorable Premier Barry O'Farrell. Thank you, Barry, for being present today, and I know you actually shifted an appointment to be here. Please put your hands together. It was indeed a pleasure working with you, Barry, and your team, and now working very closely with Honorable Premier Mike Baird and his team. And I have to say, I have no idea what sort of response you've got from the Premier's office, but where I'm concerned, I know that is one door which is always open. I mean, you have to pick up the phone, you get the inputs. Thank you, Premier, for accepting, and thank you for all your team members, including Lucinda, to make it possible. It has been extremely rewarding for me to work with the High Commission of India, to work with all the Council Generals of India, and more specifically from the NSW perspective with the Consul General of India in Sydney, Mr. Vona, and his representative, Dr. Bahade, our Deputy Consul General, who's here. Please put your hands together. And the proof is in eating the pudding. And the pudding is, they have done an amazing Confluence Festival, which is now happening. Please ensure, please put your hands together, the largest festival ever that India has rolled into Australia. And that's going to continue till mid-November, guys. Please go into the website, just type in Confluence and it'll come up, and book in your seats and tickets. You've got Sonia also here, who's been the event organizer, and you can meet her and she can give you dates, but please make use of it. Over the last 30 years in AIBC history, we have really grown from strength to strength, but it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge Mr. Neville Roach, our past chair here and Chairman Emeritus, who has been amazing in the way, so passionate, and I have picked up a lot of that from you, Neville. And the reason why I joined AIBC was Neville, and when I saw his inspiring leadership. I would also like to put on record Mr. Dipik Rugani. I would not be in a management committee position had it not been for him who nominated me. He asked me, do you think you might be able to stand for the elections? I said, Dipin, you know, I don't stand for elections, forget it. I walked off. Little did I know, one day he sent me an invitation. We just want you to be an observer. Happily, I go into the room, and before I know, the committee have nominated me into the committee. So thank you, Dipin. That's how my journey started, and I would like to acknowledge that. And finally, Raja, you have been doing an amazing job. Seriously, it has been such a pleasure working with you this past year and a half, and almost a year and a half. And under your leadership, I can see there are so many new initiatives that New South Wales has launched. So thank you for that. I do want to also recognize the fact that as a woman, you are juggling a lot of balls. Let me tell you, people might say, oh, it's cool, it's easy. It's not. You have personal priorities, you have professional priorities, you have family priorities. So how do you not drop the ball? So I would really like to acknowledge my team sitting there, Multi Connections, who have always been the biggest support. So few of our members are here, not all. But thank you for being there for me, always covering up for me, and the resources that you provide for me to function. Also, in terms of the personal and the family, I've got my husband and son here somewhere, but they have been extremely, extremely supportive too. About a couple of decades ago, I sat for the MBA exam and I got through. It was a premier institute. There were 100 people who were selected, 97 boys and 3 women. And I was persuaded not to join at that time, but there were 2 people who persuaded me that you should join and you should cross any barriers that come your way, irrespective. Don't treat yourself as a woman. And those 2 people were my parents. And I truly acknowledge what they have done for me today and definitely laid the benchmarks to go that extra mile. So that's where I end today. And thank you everyone for attending. There are a lot of things happening at AIBC. Thank you. If you haven't become a member, please do. You will not miss out on all the initiatives happening through our 30 years celebrations. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Shiba. Very inspirational. Our next speaker is the Honourable Michael Baird, Premier of New South Wales, Minister of Western Sydney. If you didn't know, Mike has represented Manly in New South Wales Parliament since 2007. Mike was elected leader of the New South Wales Liberal Party in 2014 and later that day was sworn in as the state's 44th Premier by the former Governor, Professor Marie Bashir. The Liberals and Nationals were returned to office under Mike's leadership at the state election held on March in 2015. Mike entered politics following an 18-year banking career, including corporate banking, securitisation, debt capital markets, and project finance in Australia, London, and Hong Kong. Prior to his election to Parliament, Mike was head of the institutional banking for HSBC in Australia and New Zealand. Mike is married to his wife Karen and has 3 children. He's a keen surfer and passionate about a variety of sports. Would you please welcome the Honourable Michael Baird?
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Only my mother calls me Michael, so that's I now have Alex calling me Michael, so that's very nice. Thank you. It's great to be here amongst you with the AIBC's 30th year. What a great thing to celebrate, 30 years. I can remember when I was 30. It does seem a long time ago, I have to say, but 30 years, what a great achievement. So congratulations to AIBC and all you've done for the trade between Australia and India, incredibly important. Can I just acknowledge, and I do want to very quickly, Sheba, thank you. I think we all understand how passionate Sheba is about the Australia-India relationship. All she does, very unassuming, and you juggle many balls and you keep them all going. So thank you for doing that. And as well, Raja, thank you, and thank you for your ongoing leadership, and congratulations on what you have done together as a collective group. I should acknowledge Jodie Mackay, who's the member for Strathfield, here representing the opposition. You don't have to talk to her if you don't want to, so don't worry about that. It is great, and I will point this out, to have the former Premier Barry O'Farrell, my good friend, and Andrew Stoner, the former Deputy Premier, here as well. And as you will note, they both look incredibly relaxed and actually very happy. So it's a good thing to look at from this position at the moment, I have to say. Can I say that it's also a pleasure to have Casper here. How great is it to have Michael Casper? It's because not only is he an incredible cricketer, but as you heard, for him, he learnt many things in cricket that he's applying to broad life, but most importantly and significantly, I guess tonight, is his passion for India. Well beyond cricket, and I think all of us share that. And look, he did mention, I don't want to sort of go into this in detail, he did mention that we did play one charity game together. And look, we bowl pretty similarly. You know, we're both fast bowlers. You know, we both swing the ball. Well, mine don't swing. Mine aren't fast. But look, I did have a partnership with Casper, and he probably doesn't remember it. I don't really remember it. I mean, why would I? It's only the highlight of my sporting career. And you know, just going through it, we batted together for 4 overs, 57 runs. I do remember every detail. Casper scored most of them, but look, forget about it. It was a 57-run partnership. It was helped by Benny Elias. Benny Elias was bowling from one end. For those who don't know, he was a rugby league hooker, and he was terrible at cricket. These little full tosses kept coming down. But anyway, look, I don't want to talk about it too much, but you know, if you want to come and talk about it in detail after, I'll go through every single shot. But Casper, outstanding Australian, and great to have you here as well tonight, mate. So, look, I think as I go through it, there's not much more to say other than very simple terms. I think everyone in this room gets it. I think everyone understands how wonderful India is. India, what a rich history, culture, it's vibrant, there is energy, there is opportunity. And the Australia-India Business Council, to me, that's what it's about. And I think here in New South Wales, we've done a number of things. We've tried very hard with the understanding that if we get the economy going and we get jobs underway, well, that provides an opportunity for prosperity more broadly, but opportunities in terms of revenues for government, and we can do many things with it. One of the privileges I've had in this role, beyond being in the middle with Casper, was the opportunity to meet Prime Minister Modi on a couple of occasions. Inspiring leader. And I think one of the things that has grasped me as I've spoke to him personally and seen him try and implement his plan, he's passionate about economic success. But it's not just the economic success for the reason let's be economically growing and successful in the world's eyes. It's because he understands that with a growing economy, you've got great capacity to take people out of poverty, to bring more opportunities to hundreds of millions of people. And I think that's what we have signed up for here in Australia. It is a passion, it is a vision, it is something that's quite inspiring, and we certainly want to play a role in that. And if you look at the opportunities, it's fascinating. Global economy, it's moving from the west to the east. So it used to be it used to be Europe and America. It is now shifting very much towards the east, where 30% of the global economy, used to be about half that, 30% by 2020 is going to be in India and China. And it's closing in India up towards 10% of the global economy. And it's been identified right now as one of the undoubted global hotspots in the world, not just today, but over the next few years. So in a very self-interested way, as a small region in the Asia Pacific here in New South Wales, we want to participate in that. There are mutual objectives. How can we help India continue to grow, and how can we grow, and how can we do that together? And that's really the focus that we have here in the country. And there's many ways. I mean, in tourism, obviously, naturally, a big opportunity. In education, we've heard about the skills that are required. And there's many students, 17,000 students that are here. Many more will come. Our TAFE providing huge technical skills and opportunities, many partnerships we've got across India to train and provide the next generation in India the skills required to help that country and the economy to grow. At the same time, I think one of the key points to us is that there is mutual opportunities. Technology. I think one of the things that's lost is that India is a global leader in ICT. And the size and the change of the world economy over the next 25 years, about 5% of the economy, it's going to go to 22%. And we have here, obviously Sydney is the startup capital of Australia. I mean, why would you go to Melbourne? No one would go to Melbourne. But it's similarly in India, Bangalore, which is about number 16. So 15 and 16, Sydney and Bangalore. And the question is, if we work together, how much more can we achieve? And I think that's what we're trying to do. What are the links and opportunities? The vision for the smart cities, we were just talking about it, with the opportunity for us to play a role in building the smart cities, the water management, the transport infrastructure, places like Barangaroo, zero net emissions, one of the around the world looking at it as one of these smart cities. How can we use our skills and experience to help that vision of the Prime Minister as the smart cities are built across the great country of India? So, friends, I think it's time we acknowledge that, yes, this relationship is something that for a long time has been understated, under-prioritised, and it's time we took it right back up to the top. Because I think we're in a golden age. I think this relationship is really not only about to take off, it's going to be one of the strongest and fastest growing trade relationships in the world. And if we collectively set our minds to it, we can achieve it. And lastly, I do want to make a point, because I think the most incredible thing and the way to do it, and it's very important on both sides of this, is people and relationships. And I should pay tribute to the former Premier, Barry O'Farrell, because he identified as Premier, one of the key features of his leadership was understanding the significance of the relationship with India. So he will be appointed in a first for us, a special envoy to India on behalf of New South Wales. And he will be going to, absolutely. And he will be going to Gujarat and many other places as we work together. Because there are many parts of India, many relationships and many opportunities we want to pursue. So having the focus on those is incredibly important. But so very proud to have Barry undertaking that as part of many other things that he's doing. But friends, thank you for coming along tonight. Thank you for supporting AIBC. It is a real privilege to be with you. It is important that we celebrate milestones in 30 years, and I look forward to many more to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Premier. It's now time to hear from one of our major sponsors, the CEO of the Adventist Healthcare Limited. Phil Curry is the hospital leader with over 30 years of experience working in hospitals, including 22 years in management, administration and senior leadership. Phil has a unique combination of commercial instinct, academic knowledge, experience, constructive and positive personality traits, develop networks and industry knowledge. Prior to his appointment as CEO of the Adventist Healthcare Limited in September 2015, Phil has held various leadership roles at Sydney Adventist Hospital. In addition, Phil has served on the APHA board since 2010 and the PHA New South Wales board since 2002. Phil is married to Jenny and they have 2 adult children, Alyssa and Bryce. Phil is passionate about balancing personal work and family needs. Could we welcome Phil Curry to the stage?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Honourable Premier Mike Baird, Mr Raja Vakarswar, Mrs Sheba Nankala, Mr Tulsi Tanti, Mr Michael Kasperwich, Mr Ed Box, and the Honourable Barry O'Farrell, former Premier of New South Wales. Honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Sydney Adventist Hospital, which is a part of Adventist Healthcare, it's our pleasure and our honour to sponsor the Australian Indian Business Council this evening. On a personal note, I feel very comfortable and feel very much at home because in my youth, in my early teen years, for 5 years, I lived in Fiji. And as you know, about half of the population in Fiji are Indians. I attended local schools and I had many Indian friends. Now, in my earlier childhood, I spent time in an island off the Papua New Guinea called New Britain. And it's fair to say that the local cuisine there I enjoyed, but I can say when I went to Fiji, the sense, the taste and the variety of Indian cuisine was exceptional. And with my surname, why wouldn't I enjoy a good Indian curry? I remember my first roti. Dad pulled up in a small town called Nausuri only about a week after we arrived in Fiji. Didn't know much about what he was doing, went into the local shop and bought 5 rotis. We got in the car, started driving, and with that first bite, the full hit of chilli and curry hit our mouths. Those windows went down and you can just imagine 3 kids in the back seat with their heads out the window, mouths open, trying to aerate our taste buds. I can say that we got used to that curry and chilli very quickly and thoroughly enjoyed it. My experience with the Indian people are that they are very resourceful, creative and colourful. The wide range of the rainbow colours used in foods, buildings and clothing. And that's why I've worn this evening my Indian manufactured shirt in respect of your vibrant colours. In Fiji, a disproportionate number or percentage of businesses are owned by and operated by Indians. It didn't matter which township we drove through, but the sophisticated businesses were owned by the Indians. It appeared that there was something innate, something in the DNA, something in the psyche, their approach to life that predisposed Indians to operating great businesses. As you well know, there are many Indian businessmen, CEOs and executives which run corporations, global corporations internationally. I'm pleased to say that 3 weeks ago I went on my first business trip to India, Bangalore. One evening over a dinner, I asked a few questions of the Chief Operations Officer of the business that we were exploring. Employs 10,000 staff. I asked him a few questions. He told me a few stories about his life. It led me to understand that he lived a very principled life, a life of impeccable integrity, I would say. His success, in part, was due to his principled alignment with his beliefs and values. I couldn't help but think that this Chief Operations Officer's integrity may just exemplify a broader characteristic that has contributed to the success of Indian business leaders globally. Before Indians feature in all elements of Australian society. And at Sydney Adventist Hospital, we are very proud to have a multicultural workforce and partners, including medical specialists, many of which are Australian Indians. Sydney Adventist Hospital has a few tables here this evening, at which there is a multicultural group of staff, management and doctors, including Australian Indians. We like to think that our staff and doctors stand out. Now, I should have been flicking through these. We are an organisation which is 113 years old this year. Sydney Adventist Hospital is Sydney's largest, most comprehensive private hospital with over 700 beds. With our size, we are super specialised with centres of excellence, world-class infrastructure, service and specialists. A representative group of our world-class medical specialists are here this evening tonight, and I'd encourage you to talk with them. I trust the organisation values which we have, which are excellence, dignity, integrity and continuity, aligns with your business values. It certainly does from my experience. Again, it's a pleasure to have sponsored this evening the Australian Indian Business Council of New South Wales, and trust you will enjoy this short video of Sydney Adventist Hospital.
We have a great mission here and we're committed to delivering that mission to every patient.
Because if no one teaches, the next generation can't learn or heal.
Well, our motto is discovering the science of wellness.
Adventist healthcare in Australia is linked to the revered worldwide network of over 440 hospitals and health centres operated by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Acclaimed globally for its innovative and state-of-the-art health services, underpinned by a holistic philosophy of caring for patients' physical and other needs. The Australian flagship institution of Adventist healthcare is Sydney Adventist Hospital. First opened in 1903 as a sanitarium and ahead of its time in understanding how lifestyle impacted good health and a place where people learned how to stay well. Today, Sydney Adventist Hospital is fondly called the SAN, but is a comprehensive acute care facility delivering world-class medical, surgical, diagnostic, support and wellness services. Sister institutions include Dalcross Adventist Hospital, Kalara, specialising in ophthalmology and rehabilitation, and SAN Day Surgery Hornsby, the first private day surgery established in New South Wales and now renowned for meeting community ophthalmic, plastic, dental and other surgical needs. Following the opening of a milestone redevelopment, Sydney Adventist Hospital is now both the largest private and the largest not-for-profit hospital in New South Wales. Over 2,300 staff, 1,000 accredited medical specialists and 500 supportive volunteers collaborate to care each year for close to 200,000 patients, 18,000 plus emergency admissions and deliver over 2,000 babies. The award-winning facilities have been purpose-built to cater to the expected and changing requirements of the increasing and the increasingly aged population of Australasia, who want expert, caring and compassionate care. Dynamic, intelligent infrastructure underpins the efficient provision of all administration and clinical operations, maximising data and information sharing, and future-proofs the hospital for changing healthcare needs. Purpose-designed private rooms meet both medical and nursing demands and cater for patient privacy and comfort and visitor needs, while advanced technology services are easily accessible to all patients and, importantly, arm experienced healthcare practitioners with readily available and best diagnostic and treatment options where they need them, as they need them. World-class operating theatres, cardiac catheterisation laboratories, endoscopy suites and tailored treatment units complement high-tech coronary care and intensive care units and maximise medical collaboration and patient outcomes. Showing its commitment to the provision of a complete circle of care for patients, the architect-designed SAN Integrated Cancer Centre reduces stress for patients and families by providing an easy one point of access to dedicated cancer services, linking the most up-to-date diagnostic, surgical and medical treatment options with leading cancer specialists, specialised counselling and other support services. Research facilities on the main Adventist Hospital campus include the Australasian Research Institute, with its laboratory research focus on discovering the science of health and wellness, which demonstrates commitment to evidence-based improvements in patient care. In addition, the SAN Clinical Trials Unit provides patients with unique opportunities for access to groundbreaking treatment and to be part of a potentially life-changing medical practice. Adventist Healthcare is also helping to redress nationwide shortages of healthcare professionals. It has partnered in academic education with both the prestigious University of Sydney through the Sydney Adventist Hospital Clinical School, providing medical students with on-site education and offering experienced medical specialists the opportunity to share their skills. And the Avondale College of Higher Education's Faculty of Nursing and Health, building on its long and esteemed history of hospital-based nursing education. Adventist Healthcare staff are also offered the opportunity to volunteer their expert skills for life-saving and life-transforming work in third world countries through the international aid program of Open Heart International. All these aspects combine to make Adventist Healthcare a unique healthcare provider strongly supported by the community. Critical to the acclaimed reputation of Adventist Healthcare is its mission, its culture and its people. Striving for technological and practitioner excellence, acting with integrity, maximising patient dignity and providing continuity of care, Adventist Healthcare demonstrates Christianity in action. Yours for life.
Thank you again to the Sydney Adventist Healthcare for their sponsorship to AIBC. Let's hear now from our platinum sponsor, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Ed Fox. Mr. Ed Fox is the General Manager of Specialist Retail Banking. He has national responsibility for Premier Banking, Mobile Banking, Home Lending Solutions, Business Home Lending and Specialist Partnerships. He also looks after migrant financial services globally and a business responsible for supporting more than 60,000 new customers annually moving to Australia. Could we please welcome Mr. Ed Fox to the stage?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll attempt to be brief. Firstly, thank you, Alex and Sheba, Premier. It may be a little less formal. I think most people in the room have been acknowledged tonight, but Tulsi, Sheba, Raja and Phil. Also, I'd like to thank all of our CBA customers who are here tonight and also our future customers. Hopefully that's the rest of you. It is a real privilege to be here as the National Platinum sponsor for the AIBC, and I'd like to congratulate the AIBC on their 30th anniversary. Well done. And we are proudly in our third year of sponsorship with you, and hopefully we'll continue that well into the future. There are approximately 450,000 Indian-born people who call Australia home. And between 2010 and 2015, approximately 180,000 permanent Indian migrants moved to Australia. India is the largest source of skilled migrants and the second largest source of students, foreign students. At the Commonwealth Bank, we're truly committed to securing and enhancing the financial well-being of people, businesses and communities. And this is well and truly established in the Indian community. We're very, very proud to bank more than 50% of all people who are born in India. So thank you for your custom. Thank you. Our CBA Migrant Financial Services team are focused on making a new migrant's journey to Australia easy. And now we can open accounts and establish that banking relationship before they come to Australia. and when they get here, of course, help them realise those dreams when they get here. August 2016, represented the 15th month in a row that the CBA was recognised as #1 in customer service of all the major banks by Roy Morgan. That's another statistic we're very, very, very proud of. We were also acknowledged by the AFR in 2016 for being the most innovative bank and also one of the 3 most innovative firms in Australia. And if you want evidence of that, just check out our property app. Please download it now, take the time. It is absolutely sensational, I'm sure you'll love it. We also value workplace diversity and inclusion, and we're delighted that we have close to 3,000 to 4,000 Indian people working at the CBA. That's something we're very, very proud of as well. Our group's ambition is that our leadership in the firm by 2020 reflects the diversity of our nation, and we're well on track for that, and that's something else we are very pleased with. Now, of course, this year wouldn't be complete if we weren't to hold our usual Diwali celebration. That's coming up in October. Casper, we might have to get you along too. You can't make it? Oh, well, we'll have to get some moves off you. I'll look forward to shaking a leg and an arm with those folk that are coming. But once again, thank you, AIBC. It's a very proud partnership of ours. Have a great night, and thanks for your hospitality.
Thanks very much, Ed. I'd like to call back to the stage Samir Arora to give the vote of thanks, and I'm going to give you a little bit more time to get your bids in for the silent auction items, and we'll draw those a bit later. So if Samir could come back and give the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Usually the after-dinner speeches and the thank you speech is very similar. The only good thing about a dinner speech is when someone says, leave the dishes and I'll do them. Well, it's not going to happen tonight. I'll let my audience go before you guys leave me, so we'll keep it as short as possible. It's been a long evening. My name is Samir Arora, and I'm the Vice President for AIBC New South Wales. My job tonight is to deliver the formal vote of thanks. I would like to start by thanking all of you for supporting the wonderful event, which over the years has become a major Sydney event in the Australia-India space. And thank you for being quiet over there. Thank you. Michael, thanks for that tip. Works. I would like to thank all our speakers tonight. Each one of them has focused on the immensely positive steps being taken at both state and federal levels toward the Australia-India trade relationships. I would like to thank the Honourable Mike Baird, Premier of New South Wales, Mr. Tulsi Tanti, Chairman and Managing Director of Suzlon Energy, Dr. Vinod Bahade, Deputy Consul General of India, Honourable Barry O'Farrell, former Premier of New South Wales, and my company at the table tonight. Thank you, Barry. Honourable Andrew Stoner, Honourable Jodie McKay, Member of Parliament, Honourable Ernst Wong, Councillor Raj Datta, Councillor Gurdeep Singh, Dr. G.K. Harinath, Nihal Gupta, Rhonda Piggott from DFAT, Elena Kirilova, AIBC National Chair Shiba Nandkyola, AIBC past chairs Neville Roach and Dipen Rugani, Dr. Deborah Bunker, and Michael Kasparovich. Michael, thank you once again for being so supportive in the evening. I would like to thank our platinum sponsors, Commonwealth Bank. Ed, Gunjan, thank you so much. I would also like to thank our gold sponsors for tonight, Sydney Adventist Hospital and Emphasis, our silver sponsor. I would like to thank Indian Link, our media partner for tonight. Our corporate table sponsors, DFAT, Cognizant, TCS, Share Learn for Life, University of New South Wales, Bank of Baroda, Grant Thornton, Fregomen, Capgemini, Eakin McCaffrey Cox, Multi Connections, Friedman and Gopalan, Sumo Global Properties, and AIBC New South Wales ICT chapter. Thank you, everyone. A special thanks to our door prize and silent auction sponsors, the Commonwealth Bank, Australian Cruise Group, ABS Group, Nanda Hobbs Contemporary, and Verve Portraits Australia. I would also like to thank our AIBC New South Wales Management Committee. It is a lot of hard work, it is a lot of teamwork that goes in putting an evening like this together. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking the team that has made this possible. I would also like to thank our Executive Officer Sam and to all those who assisted in making this event a success. I would like to thank the Hilton Hotel for their warm hospitality and Urban Tarka for the delicious entrees. I would like to thank our Master of Ceremonies, Alex Willman. Alex, you've been just wonderful tonight. Thank you. And I promise I'll keep it short. So I'll just finish off with one sentence. It is a long road ahead, but I promise you that there are far, far better things in the future than any that we leave behind tonight. Thank you and good night.